Go cost your fancy. For a dragon to attack Kyne's Grove. Why? Why there? There's no place safe.
My favorite drink.
You were once man. And as man. May the gods watch over your battles, friend.
I must have misheard you. I thought you asked me to help you trap a dragon in my palace. Of course. You already saved Whiterun from that dragon. I owe you a great deal. But I don't understand. Why let a dragon into the heart of my city when we've been working so hard to keep them out? Alduin, the World Eater himself. But how can we fight him? Doesn't his return mean it's the end times? I didn't say anything about giving up. Now what's this nonsense about trapping a dragon in my palace? Then, Whiterun will stand with you, Dragonborn. We will take the risk and gain the glory, whether it be in victory or defeat. So what's the plan now? How do you intend to lure a dragon into the trap? Oh, well, I'll leave that to you. I trust you know your business. Probably for the best. It will give me time to see if that old trap still works, and break the news to the men. We'll be ready, don't worry. You do have a plan for actually luring a dragon into this trap, don't you? According to legend, although I never thought to put the tale to the test, Jarl Olaf One-Eye it was, who later became High King. They say he shouted it into submission in single combat atop Mount Anthor, and brought it back to Whiterun. Numanex was the dragon's name. That's his skull decorating the main hall. Now, if you don't mind, I've got a city to keep.
Divine So, you wish to master the arcane arts? You know, if you've got the aptitude, Tosh should join the maiden college.
If you need potions, you should try Arcadia's cordial.
Take a look. I think I can teach you a thing or two.
What now? If you think it'll help.
Papa, you're back! Did you get me a present? What is it? What? Oh, stop teasing me!
It's a wonderful house, my... Hello. We have a cozy little prophet. Here. This is your share, love. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that. Here, this is fresh. I'll have another meal ready tomorrow.
Wraith is a
Goodbye,
big
my
meanie.
love.
He's telling Lars and me what to do. I don't want to play with him.
Dragon's reaching. So cool. All the kids there are amazing.
My love.
What do you need?
You're someone who can get things done. I like that. Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More inside. I don't claim looking to protect yourself or deal some damage. Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything.
Let's move faster.
My friend Maven and I. Have you met Maven? We know our
Need a ride? Where do you want to go? Climb and back and we'll be off. Oh, steady on.
Just the house card.
Azura's wisdom to you, friend.
Chanting services are one of
There
the
are
few
few
things
things
that keep
that
us in touch with
incident
the
in
rest of
Morthal was just a
Skyrim.
misunderstanding. Ah, that, yes. The group prior to yours has disappeared entirely. It's possible that there was less than the necessary amount of oversight. That's still being looked into. But we've had no contact with them for quite some time now. Arniel wondered if perhaps they'd somehow managed to get themselves lost in the Outer Realms. But I think that's giving them too much credit. I'm not sure. None of them were working on anything terribly dangerous. As I recall, Ysra was trying to improve flame cloak spells to better work in Skyrim's harsh environment. Elos Tai was practicing illusion spells. She was having trouble with the calm spells, I believe, but only ever worked with skeevers. And then there's Borvir and Rundi, twins, though they rarely agreed on anything. Those two boys were obsessed with mead, convinced they could concoct something to compete with Honningbrew. Something about using frost magic to chill the mead for a certain period of time. I felt it was a waste, but the Archmage let them proceed. So, you wish to master the arcane arts? All right then.
This knowledge might have been lost were it not for you. Well, well. I haven't seen one of these beauties in a long time. A rare find in the original Thalmor language. You're damn right I'm interested. Question is, are you selling? Well, considering no one else in Skyrim would buy something they couldn't possibly read, I'd say you don't have much of a choice. Tell you what, you bring me books like this, and I'll pay 1,000 gold each. I'll even throw in a translated edition I have for free. Interested? Here you go. I don't care if you wrote it yourself. If you want a book from here, you go through me. Very funny. Did Enter put you up to this? Wait, are you serious? You have an Elder Scroll? You? I would be honored. Beyond honored to have such a thing here at the college. This opens up entire new realms of research for us. Oh, if only Septimus were here to see this. Thank you. Please, take this. It can't quite compare to an Elder Scroll, but still, you will be remembered for generations for this.
indoors. Or in a cave. Anyways. Who's there?
Now wait, this is surprise. Why is here? You're paying for that? That's the best you can do.
The fool plays with fire like that.
What? Nakast! Watch out with those things.
I'll never have Master Nuvarande. Thank the gods. I'll get to work on the files straight away.
What? How?
Doesn't matter. Look. It's refilling with your tonic as we speak. As am I. You acted very nobly in helping my master realize his life's work. Thank you for that. As for myself, I've always been content to simply be an alchemist. I fear keeping the file would just remind me of Nurelian's obsession and how it consumed him. Here, keep it. You are as much a part of its legend now as Corral Mill was. I hope it brings you the happiness that my master desired. Now, how would you like me to align the file's properties? I'm not as skilled as Corral Mill, so I'm afraid it will only ever refill with one type of liquid. I understand. Good day, friend. Keeping well? I'll never have mastered it. I'll carry on his tradition as best I can. I could spend a lifetime just going over his notes. All right, then. Northern Maiden is ship-shape and ready to go.
I can take you to any port on the coast. Oh. May not look where you headed. Climb on in the boat and get comfortable.
Need a dagger. Don't know what the Red Guards see in books, but this will make my Saren happy. Thank you. Let me show you some tricks around the forge. Come back if you need steel.
Some rockets over there by the weird black pool.
Can I? Where you headed? Climb on in the boat and get comfortable.
Northern Maidens, ship shape and ready.
I already told you. I'm not going back to Solstheim. All right, you have a point. Taking you back to find out who sent them is the least I can do. Besides, maybe you can put a stop to whatever's going on over there. I owe them a bit of payback myself. Well, here we are. This is Raven Rock. Can't say I'm all that glad to see it again. Good luck. Maybe you can figure out what's going on around here.
I don't recognize you. So I'll assume this is your first visit to Raven Rock, Outlander. State your intentions. Mirak, I'm not sure that I do. Just remember, Raven Rock is sovereign territory of House Redoran. This is Morrowind, not Skyrim. While you're here, you will be expected to abide by our laws. Any questions? I'm unsure. I swear I know the name, but I cannot place it. I don't think so. I'm not... The name has something to do with the Earthstone, I think, but I'm not sure what. I have to be. As second counselor, the security of Raven Rock is my primary concern. This isn't exactly the city of Blacklight. We're on the frontier out here. We've had more than a fair share of troubles. After all we've been through together, I refuse to let Councillor Morvain down. Councillor Morvain is House Redoran's representative on Solstheim. As second councillor, it's my job to support him and make certain his rule is enforced. Raven Rock started out as an Imperial settlement. The Empire decided to abandon it, just as my people were first setting foot here. They left the town a shambles, but when House Redoran took over, we turned it around and it became ours. And even if it's been a struggle to make this island livable, we're proud to call it home. Your ignorance of our homeland doesn't surprise me. It's the capital of Morrowind. Been that way ever since Mournhold was sacked by the Argonians. I don't visit there often anymore, but we still get the occasional supply ship and visitors from there. Quite a while ago, yes. They cut a bloody swath across most of the southern region of Morrowind. Nobody seems certain why it happened. Attempted expansion, revenge for the enslavement of their people, or perhaps both. Whatever the case may be, thousands of Dunmen needlessly lost their lives, and many more were exiled from their homeland. Giallan, I was starting to wonder what happened to them.
Headed east? They want to give Tel Mithrin a wide berth. I don't like the looks of that place one bit.
The supplies you requested.
witness suspicious activity. Report it to Captain Velith immediately. You lost? Citizen?
Are you here to pray, or perhaps pay your respects at our ancestral tomb? There where we inter our dead. They are sacred places, meant to honor their passing. Sadly, we've been unable to use the ancestral tomb beneath the temple as of late, and have resorted to other locations to scatter the remains. Those foul vermin, the abominations we call ash spawn, have risen from the ashes of our own ancestors. They're befouling the memories of our forefathers by defiling their remains. Thank you, Wanderer. That would be most kind. Here, this key should open the door to the tomb. Sounds like something from a dream, and yet it might be more strange. I remember a temple on Solstheim, and working to build something. It was not a pleasant dream. The Dunmer race doesn't bury their dead, or leave them to rot inside a stone sarcophagus. When a Dunmer passes, his body is given to fire, so he might return to the ash from whence he came. The Dunmer don't believe that death is the end. We believe that it's the beginning. The reclamations are the true tribunal, the Daedra that consecrate the Dunmer people, Azura, Methala, and Boethia. We call them the true tribunal because they have reclaimed their place in our hearts from the false tribunal that came before. Sotha Sil, Amalexia, and Vivek represent what was beings who won the Dunmer people's hearts with their actions, but blinded them just the same. They were aberrations, false prophets. They used their status as heroes to shield the true tribunal from our minds. But now that they've been destroyed, the light can finally shine upon the House of Reclamations. Be cautious, friend. The Ash Spawn are soulless beings with no regard or compassion. Mirag. It sounds very familiar. Not someone here, but I'm not sure I can recall. I can't be sure. I know I've heard that name, but it doesn't feel real. Does that make any sense? Non-believers are never welcome here.
Careful with those flames.
Spirits be praised. I'm hoping you didn't suffer much at the hands of those foul beings. Please, accept this as a token of my thanks.
May Azura Mafalan go with your guide. Excuse me, but the temple is for followers of our faith. Outside. Non-believers are never welcome here. We've got our eyes on you.
Make way.
Glover Mallory, the wonder.
Make way. You lost.
You look able to venture outside of town.
If you
Perhaps
find
you
yourself
could help
in
me
the
with
on
cover
behalf
some
of
these
House
precious
Raven
resources.
Rock, Chancellor of Raven Rock.
Good
Your
choice.
visit here will be tolerated as long as you abide
As the
by
wife of
our
the second
laws.
counselor of
Otherwise,
Ravenlock,
you'll
it would be
answer
my
to the
pleasure to
Red
help you
Guard.
any way that I can. Admiral Arano, second counselor of Raven Rock. How I hate that title. Damn fool's going to get himself killed over it someday. He's in grave danger, and yet he continues to place himself in harm's way. When I fall asleep at night, all I can do is hope he'll still be there when I awaken. This island was never meant for us. There's too much death here. I assure you, if I could convince Admiral to do that, I'd be on the next ship back to Blacklight. Unfortunately, Admiral and Councillor Morvain are very close friends, and they will never abandon one another, despite my feelings. I'm the wife of a second Councillor, and certain things are expected of me. The most important thing is that I stand by Admiral no matter how I feel, and I intend to do that until we get off this miserable rock. Admiral and I lived in Blacklight, the capital city of Morrowind. House Redoran has improved Blacklight substantially over the last 1,000 years. Its grandeur rivals that of Mournhold itself. The root spire where the Council of Great Houses meet is something to behold. I haven't seen the city in over 50 years. Even for a Dunmer, that seems like an eternity. Regardless, I hope to return there someday, which doesn't seem likely given my husband's commitment to Councillor Morvain. Why does that sound so familiar? There's no one here by that name, and yet I swear I've heard it. I don't know. It almost feels like a dream. Something about a temple on the island. A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived. Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheim. Can you imagine? One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck, and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers. Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is second Councillor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you buy my folio.
Anything you can contribute to Raven Rock will be greatly appreciated. You've never heard of House Redoran? We're the mightiest of the great houses, and we lead the Council, the ruling body of Morrowind. This isn't Skyrim, Outlander. A group of powerful and influential Dunmer families have been ruling Morrowind for millennia. They embody a council made up of 5 great houses: Telvanni, Dres, Endoral, Sadras, and Redoran. Well, of course, with 4 other houses on the council, someone has to keep the rabble organized. Our house leads the council by virtue of our preeminence in battle, wisdom, and ancestral glory. Yes, I imagine it would to someone not of our people. If you're interested in pursuing the subject, help yourself to any of the historical volumes in my library. Solstheim is theoretically under my rule, but without revenue from the mine, I lack the resources to actually govern anything but Raven Rock itself. Not that there's much beyond the confines of our town anyway. Well, there's a small enclave of Nords to the north in Skal Village. They pretty much keep to themselves, and we both like it that way. Then there's Tel Mithrin to the east. The Telvanni live out there. Sort of a strange lot. But since we're both from Morrowind, we get along. Other than that, Solstheim is crawling with bandits and weaklings. But that's to be expected living in a frontier like this. It used to be one of the richest ebony mines in Morrowind, but it dried out years ago. Now, we're barely holding out here. Without the mine, Raven Rock doesn't feel like it can last much longer. Do I? What a strange thing. It sounds so familiar, and yet I cannot place the name. I'm not even sure. I can picture a temple here on Solstheim. Must have been a bad dream.
My doors are open if you wish to discuss matters involving Raven.
You...
Miserable. I think so. But I'm not sure where I heard the name. I don't know why, but I'm thinking about a temple here on the island. Don't like it. I hate it. Every day it's the same thing. We open the shop, we hardly sell a thing, we close the shop and go to sleep. What kind of a life is that? Oh, believe me, I'd be on the first ship off this miserable island if I could. But I'm not sure I could do that to my father. I think it would break his heart. We've already lost my mother. I don't want to leave him alone. We lived in a settlement, perhaps a league from the border of Black Marsh, the homeland of the Argonians. Even though the Argonian invasion ended a long time ago, there are still a few scale-skinned clans that live within our borders. To put it simply, they attacked our settlement and slaughtered almost everyone. It was horrible. Keep yourself safe. Solstheim.
You haven't seen Precious Corellius, have you? No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know. I prefer to handle these things on my own. Look, if you see Precious, tell him to give me that pickaxe back, and I'll pay you for the trouble. No, wait. Maybe. I don't know how I know that name. I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about this. Well, it's been a long time since someone from the guilds bothered to make their way out here. So tell me, how's my brother Delvin? Still spending his nights at the Ragged Flagon trying to win Vex's heart? Good to hear. Damn layabout never even bothers to send his own flesh and blood a letter saying how he's doing. Can you imagine? Anyway, I suppose you're looking for work. Well, I got bad news. This place is drier than a damn bone. Eager to make some coin, eh? That's the spirit. I'll tell you what. The guild's got a problem out here that I've been trying to deal with for years, but haven't been able to handle. Don't look at me like that. I'm all alone out here, with no one to watch my back. And besides, it's really my problem anyway. I caused it. A fellow Breton who went by the name Esmond Tyne showed up at my doorstep about a fortnight ago. He noticed the shadow marks like you did, and I thought he was one of us. That he did, right out from under my nose. Can you believe it? It's my own formula for improved bone mold. Took me years to perfect. Well, before he ran off, he was talking some nonsense about trying to fence goods to the Reeklings at Castle Karstag. I told him he was crazy to even think about talking to those vicious little buggers, but he wouldn't listen. I'd bet a fat purse of coin that he's either dead or hiding out up there. You do that, and I'll make sure you're set up right. You won't be disappointed. Fun question. One that I hear most often from visitors to our town.
wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Raven Rock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften. I had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Ryth, a very talented armor smith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since. It's the only tool tough enough to crack skull with, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Cretius borrowed came from the Skull Village up north. I, traded them some goods for it. Calling Stalriven ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull Village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs. You tell Cretius he better give that pickaxe back to me, or else.
Last time I rode Jalen's...
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine. No, wait. I recognize the name, but I'm not sure why. I don't know. I feel strange just thinking about it. A temple, maybe. Here on the island, something about a temple.
Fight well. Merkel doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere else.
That's not someone who lives in Raven Rock, I don't think. But it sounds so familiar. Maybe. I can't help but think of some sort of temple on the island.
Always
Why would that be?
Mirag. I'm sure I've heard that name before.
Miserable. Just
Was it
miserable.
a dream? May your power
Welcome
be
to Raven Rock. I think so, but I can't remember how I know him. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I think so. But the only thing that comes to mind is a shrine near the Earthstone. Well, take a look at what I have, and maybe we can make a deal. The Dunmer have been growing food in the Ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever. No, only the Telvanni have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience. Next time you're hungry, stop by.
I want to buy anything? Or just laugh at our misfortunes? Bad? What if I told you that you're the first person that's even considered looking at my wares today? I've half a mind to contact my friends at the East Empire Company and see if they need an extra hand in Windhelm. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've corresponded with Vittoria Vici herself more than once. You know, the lady who runs the East Empire Company warehouse in Solitude. The biggest warehouse they have in Skyrim. Ah, you're just like the rest of the folks around here. Mark my words. The East Empire Company will return to Raven Rock. And when they do, I'll be at the top of their list. Mining gear? No. However, I used to sell East Empire pendants until I ran out of them. Popular little item. It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the East Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point. A kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands on a few of them. They could be anywhere on the island. The mines might be a good place to start. If you find any while you're exploring Solstheim, bring them here, and I'll pay you for them. I think I maybe had a dream about someone with that name. It was very strange. Was I building something? A shrine down on the beach near the Earthstone? I'm not sure. The question you should be asking is, what don't I sell here? Because I have pretty much any supplies you might need. If it's not a weapon, potion, or armor, then it's likely that I have it. Jarland, over at the docks, brings me most of my supplies, and the rest comes from bartering with the people in town. Oh, Glover Mallory gets me a few things once in a while. He usually has the most amazing deals that I can't pass up. Just what you see here. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone unturned.
Not much contact with others around here. The best swordsman in all Morrowind is at your service.
Welcome to the Did I know someone by that name? Someone that wanted something. Maybe I'm just confused. I can't be sure. All right then.
Excuse me.
Welcome to the retching niche, Outlander. What can I get you? I heard crazy old Cressius has been sneaking in the Raven Rock mine again. At his age, he's going to get himself killed in there. With the mine shut down, there's no telling how much longer Raven Rock's going to last. Hopefully, Councillor Morvain has a plan. There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sujamma in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. Ah, but you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the netch, yells, "Have a drink!" and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground. Well, the bottle broke on the netch,
and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that netch was sick. True story, friend. True story. Haven't heard anything lately, but check back with me. You never know. The ash spawn attacks on the bulwark are getting worse. Captain Veleth is trying his best, but I think the Redoran Guard are overwhelmed. If you've got gold on your hands, you might talk to Rallis up at Colbjorn Barrow. I've heard he wants to excavate the place. The finest Sujamma to cross your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujamma. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it. I was kinda hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujamma and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you. Watch what you're doing.
As the wife to the second counselor. Oh, how kind. Thank elders for me, won't you?
Something?
My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you find my folio.
If you're looking for the East Empire Company, they've been gone for over 100 years. Try to get there.
You're what? Oh, no, thank you.
Welcome to Raven.
To keep my head
Always
clear.
a pleasure to taste anything Geldis
Want to
puts
buy
up
it?
with.
Geldis needs to bottle it
Stop
and
by.
send it to the mainland.
I work for Mokel.
I'll give you this. Take that swill and pour it down a well.
I've sworn to keep Councillor Morvain safe, and I
Always
intend
nice.
to take that.
Sure, got nothing better to do.
Find my pet. Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip.
Looking for any... I should mix some of this into my next potion. Who knows what would happen? After we left Morrowind, we found ourselves in Skyrim. We wandered around a bit and ended up in Morthal, where we took up temporary residence with Lami, the town's alchemist. I was fascinated by her work, and over a period of a few years, she taught me quite a bit. It wasn't long before we became homesick. We were the only Dunmer in Morthal. When word reached us that a settlement of Dunmer was forming on Solstheim, we were thrilled. It's been difficult, but I'm not regretting it one bit. In fact, I'm glad we've been able to stay and help. As you can imagine, the eruption of the Red Mountain took an awful toll on Solstheim. Hunting for game has been scarce, and the waters are apparently too tainted for fishing. According to Councillor Morvain, my husband's been Raven Rock's most important food source for decades. Yes, I'm proud to say that I grow or harvest most of it myself. I only wish I had a better source for netch jelly. These creatures are difficult to track down since it's so dangerous beyond the bulwark. That'd be splendid. I'd be more than happy to give you something for the effort. I don't think so, though it sounds like a name I've heard before. I hear that name, and I see a temple here on Solstheim. What could that mean? Careful with those netches. They may look tame, but they can seriously hurt you when threatened. Oh, good. I've been waiting for you. Here you go. It's all ready. Now, Sergius knows what I want. I'm hoping he can get it done quickly. Careful with those netches. They may look tame, but seriously hurt you.
Got any drugs? You lost?
You aren't here with bad news regarding my husband, are you?
Anything you can... Good old Geldis is always managing to keep
My
our
husband is
spirits up.
second counselor.
This may be the frontier. We've still got rules. Break them. Wander the prisoners.
May the wind be at your back.
If you intend to wander soul-side, you do so as well. Prospecting for ebony? You're wasting your time. The mine's as dry as a bone.
There's nothing beyond the bulwark except wild nords and ash wastes.
Though our spirits may be low and danger lurks beyond hope.
I said to leave me be.
Cretius, last time you explored the mine, you almost fell to your death. I'm not spending the rest of my days as a widow.
And I'm telling you that I'll do whatever it takes to find my great-grandfather's remains. He's down here. I can feel it.
That was almost 2 centuries ago. There may be nothing left to find.
Just let me go, woman.
Cretius, you're an obstinate old fool, and you're going to get yourself killed. My apologies for Cretius's ravings. Well, that sounds lovely. Thank you. That foolish old man thinks he's 30 years younger than he is. He's going to get himself killed traipsing around the mine. He's convinced himself that there's some sort of conspiracy involving the East Empire Company and the mine's closure. We came across some old letters that belonged to his great-grandfather in our house, and he believes every word written in them. Cretius's great-grandfather worked for the East Empire Company. The letters mention some sort of discovery he was sent to investigate. There's really nothing remarkable in the letters. I don't know what he's so excited about. Gratian Corellius. He was an explorer for the East Empire Company. They'd send him all over Tamriel when they had difficulties in a mining operation. Poor man. Can you imagine doing all that dangerous work just to end up dying at your own doorstep? There was a horrible accident, and he was killed when one of the tunnels collapsed. They were never even able to go down there and recover the body. The East Empire Company sealed that section off to prevent any more tragedies. Cretius is convinced it's a story cooked up by the company to cover up something else, but I don't know. My beloved is almost 80 years old, and I think the shock of finding one of his ancestors' things has left his mind a bit confused. I love him dearly, and I support everything he does, but I can't let him chase this silly idea, or he may end up joining Gratian in a rocky grave. I think so, but from where? I can't recall. It's difficult. Something about it doesn't feel right. A temple here on the island. That's all I can recall. To understand how we met one another, you have to appreciate what he's going through. Cretius is a third-generation miner. All his life, he's lived and breathed nothing else. By the time Cretius came of age, the ebony mine in Raven Rock was shut down. He took that quite hard. Our home has been in his family for over 200 years. Leaving would have been like abandoning precious memories. Instead, he stayed on Solstheim and spent most of his life prospecting for a new ebony source. Sadly, it never surfaced. A decade ago, this drove him into a deep depression. He shut himself inside his home and refused to come out. It was after refusing to allow anyone to bring him food, Councillor Morvain ordered his door to be knocked down before Cretius starved to death. I was a temple priest at the time, and they had me use my healing arts to restore strength to his ailing body. I stayed for a while and cared for him, then I suppose we fell in love. Far from it. In fact, I'm no longer welcome there. In all honesty, it came down to a disagreement between what I believe and what Elder Othraloth believes. I'd prefer not to get into the details, but let's just say our opinions about the current status of the Tribunal vary widely. Be careful out there.
Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy? Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are. Maybe. Been difficult trusting people lately. They think I'm crazy. But mark my words, these mines hold a secret that could put Raven Rock back on the map. A secret the East Empire Company swept under the rug 2 centuries ago. It killed my great-grandfather and left Raven Rock with a worthless and tainted mine. Gratian Corellius. He spent his entire life exploring ancient ruins across Tamriel, and he died in these very mines almost 200 years ago. The East Empire Company called it a terrible accident, claiming that he was lost in a rockfall, but I know better. My wife and I were cleaning out our home, and we came across some of my great-grandfather's things locked in an old chest. I found an unsent letter he'd written to the East Empire Company, and a key. It describes a discovery that was made in the mine by some of the diggers. They wanted Gratian to take a closer look. The East Empire Company must have felt it was of great value, as they lock that section of the mine off from everyone else. It is. Well, I assume it is. I haven't been able to find the entrance. Finally, someone who believes me. I'm telling you, there's something big down there. Something that the East Empire Company wanted to hide from everyone. Look, my wife nags that I'm too old to go traipsing around these mines chasing my story. Time's my enemy. It's caught up with me before I could find the answers that I'm looking for. I do. I want to know what happened to Gratian, and what the East Empire Company's keeping from all of us. Gratian kept a journal of notes about his discoveries. If you can find his remains, I'm hoping it will help. Here's everything I have. The letter, the key. Please, do this for me, so I can finally regain the respect that I've lost. He's begging for patrons again, eh? Well, I suppose I could have just a bit. Look, I know I don't have much to go on. I have that unsent letter, and that's really it. But I also have a miner's instinct that's run in my family from before Gratian was even born. I may sound like a crazy old man to you, but I'm telling you, the tunnels here are solid. They would never collapse like that. She thinks that old age has addled my mind, that I'm seeing things when there's nothing to be seen. I realize she cares about me, but she has to understand that I can't rest until I find out what happened to Gratian. Then I'll settle down peacefully and never set foot in this mine again. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, even before I discovered Gratian's old things. I just hope both of you don't mistake my enthusiasm for insanity. The damn fool doesn't even deserve to have it. The pickaxe was made for mining, not selling. I'll bet he stole it from the Skull in the first place. Oh, very well. Here, tell him I hope he drops the thing on his foot. I recognize the name, but I don't know how I know it. It sounds so familiar. It's so strange. I feel like it's from a dream. Something about the Earthstone and a shrine. That's it. That's all I can think of. Careful down there. The mine can be treacherous.
Why you're leading Cretius on, I'll never understand. Why you're leading Cretius on, I'll never understand. Who's there? Where'd you come from?
I know you, champion. The Agma in Flames was only the beginning. This is Apocrypha, where all knowledge is hoarded. Saint your words for knowledge in the end of my life. If you tire of this search, read your book again to return to your mortal life. For it
She was real surprised when I pulled that knife from my daughter.
Where'd you...
Someone there. Where'd you...
Cut you open! Theodora smash! Enough! I'm gonna bleed you. Time to die, outlander.
don't seem to be in quite the same state as the others here.
Hmm?
Building something, clearly. And yet they don't seem to have much to say about it. I'm very interested to find out what happens when they finish. Certainly not. Doing so would interfere with whatever is going on, and I would be unable to see how this all lines out. There is the big island of Vardenfell, and the coastal mainland. House Telvanni has its properties on Vardenfell. I've never been to the mainland myself. The ignorant think it is only a place of ash and lava. It has rolling green plains and swamps and verdant hills, too. It is the only place where silt striders can be found. Although I managed to transplant a few here when I arrived. It's the homeland of the Dunmer. The lesser races call us Dark Elves. We built great works there, like Vivek and Aldrun. Many of them are destroyed now, either by Red Mountain or the Argonian invasion. When the city of Vivek was destroyed, it took decades for us to rebuild. We are still but a shadow of our glorious past, but someday we will rise again. Red Mountain dominates the island. Every now and then, ash and debris from an eruption land on our shores. You are too young to remember the Nereid. He defeated Dagorthur and saved us all from the Blight.
And when the world remembers,
That world will cease to be.
Here in his shrine, that they have forgotten.
That you might.
That seems inadvisable. Oh, fascinating. By touching the stone, you appear to have fallen under whatever influence is
What
affecting the others.
faithless minds have stolen.
Ah, so you are able to resist the effect by exerting your will. Fascinating. I would not advise touching the stone again. Effects of repeated contact could be... Unless, of course, you'd like to contribute to my investigation. I wonder if a dragon could be captured alive. It would make a fascinating test of something. Are we done? I thought... That's that.
does he speak? And when the world shall listen, and when the world shall see,
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend? My husband Vendel feared visitors would shun Raven Rock. I'm glad
Vendel
to see he was
Severin?
mistaken.
A pleasure. Do I? I was going to say no, but somehow I feel like I do. Does that make any sense? No, I'm sure of that. And yet, I think I had a dream of a temple, and he was there.
Not today. Too many things on my mind. Pleasant journey, Sam.
From danger.
when they need
Find my pickaxe yet? So, you finally tracked down old Cretius, eh? Quite a character, isn't he? Tell you what, since you went through all the trouble of finding it for me and all, you keep it. I just wanted to remind that codger you can't just go around taking things from other people. Now that you've delivered the message, I'm satisfied. Besides, that pickaxe hasn't done me any good in years. Maybe you can put it to good use. Bring your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up right.
You lost? You're back. Please, tell me what you found. Let me see that. Huh, I knew it. Gratian's death wasn't because of a rockfall. It was just a story to keep people away from the tombs. Now that I have his journal in hand, I can get some closure from the East Empire Company. Make them pay for lying to everyone. Thank you. Now, I believe I owe you a little more than a debt of gratitude for all that work you did. Here, it's not much, but it's the best an old retired miner can do. Those cowards left decades ago. Every single damned one of them. The moment the ebony mine dried up, they pulled up stakes. Ridiculous. Solstheim is still rich in ebony ore. I know there's more down there. I can smell it. I come from 3 generations of miners, and I'm telling you that the East Empire Company was wrong. They just didn't want to spend the coin trying to find it. Our home has stood in Raven Rock since the colony was founded. Gratian helped build it with his own 2 hands. After Gratian died, he left behind a wife and a son. My grandfather, Relicus. Relicus lived there for quite a long time, working in the other sections of the mine until he was slain by reavers. I never knew my father. My mother and I always lived alone. I asked her about him many times, but she seemed angry and refused to speak about him. So eventually, I let it go. When I was old enough, I began working in the mine, hoping to make my fortune and eventually move to the Imperial City. Unfortunately, yes. I only had enough coins saved to send one of us back to the Imperial City. So I sent my mother alone. I wanted her to see her homeland before she died. Until I met my darling Aphia, yes. I suppose you could have called me a bitter old hermit. Now I'm just old. Mark my words. Raven Rock is